Wayan Wangiyana from University of Mataram in Indonesia, in central part of Indonesia. The title of my presentation this morning is Anthocyanin content of red rice grains and agronomic ways for increasing it. What are anthocyanins? Anthocyanins actually they are secondary metabolites in plants, and the plants produce them for their own use actually, and they are natural colors, mostly from red to purple. They are chemically anthocyanins belong to the flavonoid groups. They are highly reactive to reactive oxygen species, and so they have a high antioxidant activity. They have a high scavenging ability for free radicals in human and animal metabolism, and they are highly beneficial for curing and maintaining human and animal health. We will talk about that a little bit later. Where we can find anthocyanins. These are examples of plant products that contains anthocyanins, different fruits. This one is maple leaves, and it normally turn to red, from green to red when approaching fall season. I don't know this flower. This one is grapes, different color of grapes, and the last one we will talk about this for more is rice. They are different color of rice grain, Ascot rice, some red rice, white. This one called golden rice, black rice, brown, purple rice, and the color grains of rice contains anthocyanin, depending on the intensity of the color, the red color. Okay, anthocyanin actually produced by plants for their own use, such as when plants experience osmotic adjustment, like drought stress or low temperature stress, they will produce anthocyanin. So if we want to increase anthocyanin content of the plants, we can impose this kind of stress. When high intensity of UPB, they will protect with anthocyanin by producing anthocyanin. And as we can know it, that plants will attract pollinators with different color of flower, with colorful flowers and maybe leaves to attract pollinator, and also seed dispersal. The function is natural color. The anthocyanin is natural colors, different colors. Light attenuator to reduce intensity of lights. Transport vehicle for monosaccharide. active defense against fungi and herbivores. So plants produce anthocyanins for their own use, but we can take advantage for that. Just like plants produce seeds, they produce seeds is for their for continuing their generation, and but we use it as a source of food. Health benefits of anthocyanin. There are many health benefits of anthocyanins. We consume like plant products like fruits, juice, and so on, and leaves that contain anthocyanin. There are several here as antioxidant. The most common functions is as antioxidants because anthocyanin is very reactive to reactive oxygen species, which is the result of metabolism. Also free radicals that normally cause us feel like tired and so on. And when we have consumed food containing anthocyanins, it will help to reduce free radicals in our body. Anthocyanin also as an anti-cancer. There are many examples for that from the literature. That's for prevention, mostly for prevention of cancer, but also for treatments. Anthocyanins from black soybean can reduce prostate weight, so it's good for men. Feeding mice, this is result of an experiment. Feeding mice with red rice also reduce their blood sugar content compared with feeding with white rice, which indicate that red rice is healthier than white rice for type 2 DM patients. Black rice anthocyanins are reported to suppress metastasis of breast cancer cells, so to reduce the intensity of growth of the cancer cells, and many more health benefit of anthocyanins. Before we talk about anthocyanin in rice grains, this is morphology of rice seeds. The outer layer, which is hard, very hard, it's called palea and lemma, and when we peel this, this become husk. Inside of this, there are 3 layers: pericarp, tegmentum, and aileron layer, and this 3 called bran, rice bran. Here is the highest content of anthocyanin in rice bran. In the case of red rice, the red color is in the bran. So because of the anthocyanin content in the bran, but when we polish when we process the rice grain to be ready to cook, sometimes there are 2 steps of processing. Only peel the husk, and we will have what is called brown rice, complete with pericarp, tegmentum, aileron layer, where anthocyanin is most anthocyanin content are there. But when the further step is polishing, and will result in what is called white rice. If we process red rice with both steps, we will have also white rice. It is not red anymore. That's here is the most content of anthocyanin. It differs from golden rice. Golden rice, the color of golden rice is yellow. Yellow is from brand to the endosperm is yellow, but red rice is nearly not red, the endosperm. So anthocyanin content here is very low. If we look at the different shapes and color of rice grain, whole grain, there are examples here. This very long grain. There is a very short grain, red rice, golden rice, yellow, purple, black, brown. It depends on how intense the intensity of the anthocyanin content, this color. So so white, yellow, brown, red, purple, or black color of the rice, seed coat or rice bran. Sorry, that's rice bran. Due to different level of anthocyanin content. Anthocyanin in the husked rice grains of pigmented rice, yeah, like this, red rice, purple, brown, black, have a high antioxidant activity. So it's good for health when we consume this rice, the pigmented rice. But not to polish the grain, and they will become mostly white rice, because the anthocyanin content is mostly on the bran, like aileron layer and the tree layer. Now I will talk a little bit about mycorrhiza, because this is biofertilizer. This is a type of soil fungi which have the ability to produce symbiosis with their host plants. They infect the roots of the host plants or crops like rice, soybean, and so on. Then they infect roots for continuing their life and regeneration, and to get carbohydrate, because they are obligate, cannot produce carbohydrates by themselves. So they have to infect hosts, and the host will provide carbohydrates for their lives, for energy source. But mycorrhiza fungi will grow their hyphae into the soil. It's called extra radical hyphae, and that HIFA will help absorb nutrient and water, especially from dry soil. Also seek for nutrients. They grow further far from the roots. So HIFA will explore more volume of soil to get more nutrients compared with without mycorrhiza. That's actually the most dominant functions of mycorrhiza. But in terms of growing crops in intercropping, for example, intercropping between cereal like rice, sorghum, maize, in intercropping with legume crops, when there are mycorrhiza infecting two roots of the two crops, for example, rice adjacent infecting roots of adjacent rice and soybean. As we know it, soybean can do nitrogen fixation, and mycorrhiza can transfer nitrogen from rice from soybean roots to rice. That's called hypal bridge for communication and nutrient transfer. I'll talk a little bit about intercropping rice in aerobic irrigation system. We grow rice on a rice bed, so it's not flooded. It's not flooded. It's not paglit. Therefore, we can grow legume crops here, like in this case, peanut in alternating rows with rice, or soybean with rice, red rice, and we found that technique of growing rice increase rice production. Also, I'll show you that this practice also increase anthocyanin content of the red rice. I will talk about the result of two experiments. Experiment one with effect of mycorrhiza on rice yield. This is red rice for on rice yield and anthocyanin content, and the other one is mycorrhiza and intercropping with soybean, but only to upland rice. This is what's that? The result of application of biofertilizer containing mycorrhizal fungi to rice. This with mycorrhiza biofertilizer, this one without mycorrhiza biofertilizer, and we can see that the increase are mostly on panicle number, tiller number, percent of tiller to become panicles, and what is this? Biomass, straw dry weight. These are different genotypes of red rice. Not very much different, but the most different is between application of biofertilizer and without biofertilizer. That means applying biofertilizer to rice is very beneficial, especially in the rice field that normally used to grow flooded rice. This is for the grain yield and yield component. The most significant increase is in field grain number. That means mycorrhiza help increase photosynthesis playing or biomass production for seed growth during the seed filling phase. As we can also see that weight of 100 grain increase with application of mycorrhiza, also grain yield and biomass, but it reduced unfilled grain number. Percentage of unfilled grain, it means photosynthetic supplying ability of the rice during seed filling phase was increased by application of biofertilizer. Also, it increased anthocyanin content. It increased anthocyanin content. I don't know. I hope you all can see this one. I don't know how to arrange. Okay. But there's no difference between the rice genotypes, only in some of these, like weight of 100 grains. I will continue. When I did the regression analysis, we can see that, as you can see here, that there are positive and significant correlation between anthocyanin content of the grain and biomass weight. That's mean that increasing biomass weight will increase also anthocyanin content. I assume there biomass here was from biomass weight of the rice plant before producing the seeds. We can see from number of tillers, number of leaves. It could also be there are a little bit stress of rice plants with higher biomass weight. And also higher panicle number because of the mycorrhiza biofertilizer application, and because of that anthocyanin also increase. So there's a positive correlation, and we can see here there's a negative correlation between unfilled grain and anthocyanin content. So it could be possible that higher anthocyanin content will push more photosynthetic ability during the seed filling phase. These are the second experiment, the effect of intercropping, mycorrhiza biofertilizer, intercropping on different genotypes of plant rice. We can see here mycorrhiza increase anthocyanin concentration, grain yield, and so on. Highly significant. And also there are some interaction between mycorrhiza and intercropping. We will see about that later. Also, the most significant here is for percentage of field grain number. It means to increase percentage of field grain number. So it means increasing potential of the rice plants to field grains. So it means increasing photosynthetic. Unfortunately, I didn't measure the photosynthesis rate, photosynthetic rate. But from the correlation analysis, we can see that positive correlation. These are for grain yield and yield component. So as we can see here, application of mycorrhiza biofertilizer, AMF, is arbuscular mycorrhizal fungi. It's a biofertilizer containing mycorrhiza, arbuscular mycorrhiza. This increase percentage of field grain number. Also increase percentage of panicle number. It means from 100, this is percentage, from 100 tillers here, for example, for 100 tillers, without application of biofertilizer, only produce 87 panicles, while with biofertilizer, it produces higher number of panicles and higher number of panicles will have potentially higher grain yield if photosynthetic rate also increase, at least similar. So that's the effect of intercropping. In this case, the intercropping is an additive intercropping by inserting or what is called relay planting of soybean, one row of soybeans between 2 rows of rice, with what is called double rows. Between double rows, it's also increase grain yield, also anthocyanin content in the grain. Okay, I'll leave that. Hang on. From two genotypes of plant rice, not very much difference. Only grain yields, different grain yields. That means they have different yield potential. From here, from three, we can see when we apply M plus here is supplied with mycorrhiza, supplied with biofertilizer. These two without biofertilizer. Without biofertilizer, intercropping also increase. Intercropping increase field grain number without mycorrhiza. But with mycorrhiza, intercropping also in intercropping. Okay, but with mycorrhiza, intercropping and this doesn't have a significant difference. Although here is higher a little bit, but it was not significant. But in each intercropping treatment, without intercropping and with intercropping with soybean, application of mycorrhiza significantly increase percentage of field grain number. Here, without intercropping and without mycorrhiza, the percentage is very low. It's very low. We can increase it with application of mycorrhiza. But between the two genotypes, there are no very much different. Although application of mycorrhiza increased a little bit, but here it's significant increase. This is field grain number with whole three factors, treatment factors. We can see here an increase of percentage of grain field grain number in G4 was highest here. In without intercropping, the increase is very high. Here, not very high, not significant increase. There are not significant increase between without and with mycorrhiza. Maybe because intercropping also increase. As we can see, here is higher than this one. That's make these two not significant. But in this case, application of biofertilizer increase percentage of field grain number. That means that these two genotypes have different response. So to conclude, from our experiments and from literature, from result of experiment by others.
You are exceeding
Sorry?
your time. If you can finish a little bit quicker.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, I'll just finish the conclusion. So both application of mycorrhiza biofertilizer and intercropping with soybean significantly increase grain yield and anthocyanin content. Colored rice such as red, purple, and black rice, black rice grain are high in anthocyanin content, and because anthocyanin is very beneficial for health, that means consuming red or black rice is more healthy than the common white rice. Due to the natural function of anthocyanin produced by the plant for their adaptation to environmental stress, that means we can increase anthocyanin content by imposing some stress to the plants. Since application of biofertilizer containing mycorrhiza increase both grain yield and anthocyanin content, as well as also Fa and zinc content in the grain. Therefore, it is a good agronomic practice for biofertilization of the crop for increasing human health that consume the crop product. Thank you.